Okay, I am live. I had my camera covered and I was going, where am I? Oh, great. So I'm so excited to be here with you this morning. I'm hosting this little live time together for anybody who would like to come and ask questions about reselling. So just ask them in the chat. I'll see it. I'll get to them as I go. So I see a couple of you out there. Thanks so much for joining me. Again, my name is Lee Meyer, if we have not met yet, and I'm so excited that you have taken time out of your day to join me. You probably already know that I'm the founder of listingtofreedom.com as well as the empoweredreseller.com. And I am here to help you, here to empower you to become successful with reselling. And I've made over 100,000. I actually kind of stopped keeping track of that number. It's well over 100,000 with reselling. And that's what the Empowered Reseller, that's what Listing to Freedom is all about. So I'm so glad again that you guys are here. Go ahead and drop any questions that you have in the comments. I would love to hear from you. If you're out there, are you brand new to reselling? Have you not started yet? Are you at the stage of like, you don't know where to start? A lot of people get in that kind of stuck there in that overwhelm of not knowing where to start, not knowing what things to sell, not knowing where to find things. And so they just kind of get trapped in this, okay, I'll put it off. I'll do it later. I'll do it maybe when I have time. Other people that I help have already started their business, or they've already maybe had reselling as a hobby, and they're looking for ways to grow their income, to actually make sales and to actually get their things sold. And they're struggling with those types of questions. So wherever you are in your journey with reselling, I'm here for you this morning for a few minutes. I've got my kids all set up, the baby down for a nap. And so I'm all yours during this next few minutes. So go ahead and drop any questions in the comments. Let me know if you are that new reseller, if you haven't started yet, or maybe you've been at it for a while. I do help veteran resellers who have been doing reselling for 5+ years, and they're just looking for ways to grow their income and make it an actual business that is paying you something worth your time. So I already have a few questions that have been submitted ahead of time. So I'm going to get started with those. And as I get talking, hopefully that'll trigger maybe some more questions coming in, and then maybe some more people will join us. All right, Joan. Hi, Lee. I've been reselling for about 9 months. Welcome so much, Joan. I'm so glad you joined me for this. So you're on 2 platforms. Which platforms are those, Joan? I'd love to know which they are so I can help you better. And so I get tons of likes on listings. So I'm going to guess that one of them is Poshmark because you say you're getting likes. But then when I send an offer, most times I don't get any response, any suggestions. Okay, Poshmark and Mercari. Okay, great. Yeah, and I do find that a lot of new sellers tend towards those platforms because they don't have the overwhelm that maybe comes with eBay. So Poshmark and Mercari, the plus side of those is they're very easy to list on, but they are a little bit maybe slower sales. You make less sales on them, if that makes sense. So that is very typical for whatever platform you're on, that people will go and like your listing or whatever it is on that platform. And then you go and send an offer and you don't hear anything. It's like crickets. It's like, okay, where did these people go? Why did you like my listing if you're not going to take my offer? And you're going to run into this anywhere. But I've got a couple tips for you. The first one is to think about the type of people that are coming to shop on these platforms, and maybe think to your own experience shopping on these platforms. I don't know how much online shopping you do, Joan, but typically when you go online to buy something, maybe like, for example, my husband needed some button-up shirts for work. He needed those like right away. He didn't need them 2 months from now. And so typically when people come online and they're looking for something specifically, and they're also looking for something right away. And this has gotten more and more pronounced, this, needing things right away, especially with Amazon and being able to get things almost delivered to you instantly. And so one of my suggestions for sending out offers on your listings that people have liked is to try to send those out sooner rather than later. So I know some people like to let their offers or their likes build up before they send out offers, and they might only send out offers like once a week or every few weeks, and then hope that they don't have to reduce prices through offers. However, how people shop is that they want things soon, they want them right away. And so if you're able to catch them in that buying phase and send them an offer right away, you're going to be a lot more likely to convert on that offer. Because if you go back to that person and think about, okay, what are they looking for? Why did they come here and find that item in the first place? They came there for that specific reason. They came there to buy something probably right away. And if they liked your offer and you don't make, or they liked your listing and you don't make them an offer for, another week or another month down the road, or even days down the road, even the next day down the road, they have probably already moved on to finding an item that they're looking for from another seller. So hopefully that gives you a little bit to go on as far as making offers on your listings to make them right away and to make them frequently. The other thing with those platforms, if you're able to, it is a little bit different depending on the platform. You can send a personalized message when you send that offer out to the person. So you could say, hey, I have this offer that I'm sending you. This is a special offer. And then make it a little bit more personal. So it's not just a computer sending them an offer. You can say something like, I ship daily, or I'll get this shipped out within the next 24 hours, or, add some kind of personality to it so that they know that there's a person there who's going to give them good customer service. All right. Some other questions that I had come in was regarding, actually, I'm going to jump to this one. This is also regarding Poshmark, and this is for Poshmark Poshmark live shows. So live shows have somewhat replaced parties. I believe parties are still going on, but Poshmark is really pushing live shows. And so I had somebody ask me, hey, what do you think about these new parties? And so I plan on doing a video on this soon, because I do have a lot of thoughts around Poshmark parties. I personally am not able to participate in parties because right now it's only beta, and it's only certain testers are testing out Poshmark live shows. I think I keep saying parties, I mean live shows. So I am not able to participate myself in live parties, which is a little unfortunate. So I'm not able to, give you like, this is how they work, this is how I do it kind of thing. But that is part of the problem, is they're pushing these live shows, and that has left a lot of sellers, myself included, on the sidelines. And so I'm not able to participate in the live shows. And anytime you go into the app, if you open up the Poshmark app, you're going to see, hey, this live show is going on, this live show is going on, this live show is going on. And so they're really, really pushing those live shows. And then other sellers are kind of left in the dark. And it was totally, I don't know if it was random how they picked the beta testers. I did not get invited. I did not get an email about it. I did not get notified about it. So I feel like I was kind of left in the dark on that. Some of the problems that I'm seeing with live shows is very low starting prices. So I have attended several live shows, and I have, kept my eye on them. Like, is this a thing to be doing? Is it a thing that, I need to be learning? Because as a reseller, you always want to be learning. You always want to, keep up with the latest things, right? Keep up with the latest technology. Everything is always changing. And so it is something that I've been keeping my eye on. But one of the things that I have been noticing as I have been watching these live shows and watching the title of the live shows is they will have things like the the start price is $7 or start price at $5. Or I've seen some where it's like everything starts at $3. And it just seems to be getting lower and lower the more these live shows I see going on. And when you stop and think, okay, Poshmark's fee for selling items under, I think it's under $15 is $2.95. If you're having a $3 start price and their fee's $2.95, you're making 5 cents. And then after, say, your shipping supplies, you're in the hole. You're losing money. Not to count your time, which is also valuable as well. So that's kind of my thoughts around the Poshmark live shows. I do have a lot more thoughts around Poshmark live shows. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out when they take the live shows from beta and make them available to everybody. I did get an invite to go to a training here. I think it's probably a week out with Poshmark on how to participate in the live show. So I'm not sure if you do that and then you get an invite to participate in live shows. I will find out. I will be going to that and I will be keeping you posted on that. All right, next question. And at any time, pop in the chat, ask away. I'm here for you guys. All right, so the next question that I had that I thought was a really interesting one is if I still recommend cross-posting. And this is kind of a yes or no answer. It's I can't just say yes or I can't just say no. So let me explain a little bit about what I mean with if I recommend cross-posting. So for somebody, Joan, for example, you're on Poshmark and Mercari. I would say for somebody like you who is on just Poshmark or just Mercari or maybe both of those, I would definitely recommend cross-posting and cross-posting those items over to eBay. Now, looking at my own sales numbers, eBay does the bulk of my work. It does that autopilot sales type of thing where you can list and then kind of forget about it. With those other platforms, you do have to be a little bit more active with getting them sold. And so that is my reason for, if you're on Poshmark Mercari, I would definitely recommend cross-posting. And all that means is you're taking that same listing and you're selling it on another platform. For anybody out there who's going, okay, what is cross-listing? You're just selling that same item across one or more platforms. And there are some easy ways to do this. You may have heard me mention Vendoo. Vendoo is the platform that I use to cross-post. And it's very easy because for somebody out there who has already listed their items on, say, Poshmark, you don't have to go and retake pictures or find them on your phone again. Side note, I don't save any of my pictures on my phone. Otherwise, my phone would have ran out of memory like months ago, years ago, probably. So as soon as the pictures are taken, they're gone. I delete them. I get rid of them. I don't want them on my phone. I have no use for them. But if you've done that and you have your listings on, say, Poshmark or Mercari or eBay, wherever they are, Vendoo has the ability to be able to pull in the information from those listings as well as pull in the pictures from those listings. And so you don't have to go and, retake pictures or find pictures off of your phone again. You will import those into Vendoo. And then from Vendoo, you will list them out to the other platforms that you want them on. So that is one of the add-ons, they call them, with Vendoo. So it's kind of like an extra feature, but it's one that I use, one that I recommend because I like, if you learn, I have other people I work with, they have learned to list on Poshmark. They like listing on Poshmark. They don't want to learn a new way. So it's easiest, okay, I'm going to do what I know. For me, that's eBay. I list everything on eBay. To go and do that listing, create that listing in the platform and then import it to Poshmark. Import it to Vendoo and then cross-post it out to those other platforms that you want to be selling on. Now, back to this question about if you should be cross-listing. I did say that if you're on, Poshmark or Mercari, I do still recommend cross-listing over to eBay. However, the flip side of that is if you are selling on eBay, I would make that less of a priority to be cross-posting out to those other platforms just because eBay for most sellers is going to do the bulk of your work. It's going to do those sales on autopilot where you may not necessarily need to be cross posting. You may not necessarily need to be putting in the time to cross post those listings over to other platforms like Poshmark or Mercari. So I'm going to give you some examples from my own business and how this works in my own business because I am primarily on eBay. So I've done this a couple of different ways, and I'm going to let you know the results of those different experiments, I'll call them. The first experiment that I did was to list things. Say I listed 10 things during my work time, and then at the last, say, 10 minutes of my work time, I went and immediately cross-posted those items over into Poshmark and Mercari. Well, what ended up happening was sometimes they would sell really quick on Poshmark, but the majority of the time, what was happening was then I would cross post those, list and cross post basically at the same time. Those items would sell probably, say 75 to 80% would sell on eBay. And then I'm having to go in and delist them off of Poshmark and Mercari. So it was basically kind of making extra work for me of having to spend time cross posting. Vendu is very quick. I've got it down to about 30 seconds an item, but it still is extra time. And then it's extra time to come back in and have to remove those items off of the platform to say that they have been sold. Now, there is some new technology hopefully coming out. This may still be top secret, so don't tell anybody. But there is the possibility that there will be a new feature coming sometime in the future that will delist those. So, that may not end up being a time constraint in the future, but as of right now, you do have to go in and delist your items when they sell. So it is just, it's another factor. It's another complexity. It's just another thing to have to worry about. It's another, time. The biggest probably thing is time that it adds to having to cross list, having to delist when they sell. So that was the first experiment, is to cross list right away. The second experiment, and the one that I have stuck with, the one that I have been going with as an eBay seller. Now, this is as an eBay seller. I'm going to put in that caveat there because if you're on Poshmark and Mercari, I highly recommend cross-posting to eBay. But as an eBay seller, the way that I have been going with this second experiment that I did was to let my items soak first on eBay. So I would list them and I would let them sit there for a little while, because if they sell on the first day, the first week, the first month even, and I don't have to take the time to cross list them, I don't have to take the time to delist them when they sell on eBay. That's time saved. That's time in my pocket. And right now, time to me is probably the most important currency, even over money. So time saved is basically money saved in my book. So that is my suggestion for eBay sellers. If you are selling on eBay and you're having good sales there, then still use cross listing. You can still cross list. You can still sell on other platforms, but I would suggest to let those items sit for a little while. Let them see if they'll sell there before you go through the work of getting them cross posted to those other platforms. Hopefully that makes sense. I generally will let them sit for, a month or 2 months before I'm taking the time to cross post over to those other platforms. Joan, I love that. You say, okay, I'll try eBay. Yes, give eBay a go. It just looked more complicated to list there than Poshmark and Mercari. And yes, you are right in the boat with pretty much every other person out there, that it is more complicated. It is, how, as you said you have to learn how to communicate, ship it, etc. I'm not sure on the communicate part. because there's actually less communication between buyers and sellers, if that's what you're referring to. I get a lot of people on Poshmark who ask questions and then, disappear. But people on eBay are generally buyers. They're coming there to buy. Poshmark is a little bit more social, where they may not necessarily be coming there to buy. Maybe they're coming to browse. I'm not sure, but definitely the shipping on eBay. Going into the next few weeks, I'm actually going to be updating the shipping methods, how you ship on eBay, and updating that inside of my course, Rags to Riches. So you'll be hearing more about that soon, because there was a major update with shipping. And that is actually one of my other questions that I have here. Again, any other questions, now is your time to ask. Go ahead and ask. Let me pop over. I'm going to pop over and see what my other questions that I had asked ahead of time. All right. So the other question that I had asked ahead of time was about the new shipping method on eBay. So for Joan and whoever else out there that is selling on Poshmark, nothing's going to change for you. You're still going to print the label that they give you when you make a sale. You just slap the label on whatever box, whatever bag, whatever package you have, and put that out there into the mail to ship. Nothing's going to change on your end, because the new method that USPS came up with does not affect priority shipping. The new method, if you have not heard, is called Ground Advantage, and it's replacing several different shipping methods, and it's replacing USPS first class package service. It's my understanding there will be first class service, but it'll be, just your basic envelope. Like if you're going to mail a letter to your grandma, you can still mail first class. If you're going to be mailing shirts or jeans or, any package bigger than an envelope, I think it's like 1/4 inch is the thickness, then that package service is no longer available for first class, and you're going to use the new Ground Advantage method. Now, I've been doing this now for 11 days. It got started 11 days ago. July 9th is when Ground Advantage went into effect. And so I've had some time to go back and, actually go in and see how it works. I don't want to say go back. I haven't gone back. Go in and see how it works. I've sent out probably dozens and dozens of sales by now. And it does appear that it's identical to the first class service. The price is the same. Buyers are paying the same. It's really kind of just a name change. So this new Ground Advantage, it encompasses that first class package service, as well as Parcel Select Ground and Retail Ground. Now, these were typically methods that were used for bigger items that were heavy, items that may not have fit in a flat rate envelope or box. I use the Parcel Select for shoes. And so now this is also under Ground Advantage. So it's kind of one big encompassing policy where you can either choose, okay, Ground Advantage, that's the slower method. I think it's 2 to 5 days. Or you can choose the faster methods like Priority, which is 1 to 3 days, or things like overnight that you're probably not ever going to do. And so I have, as going through this process of shipping out sales, it really does seem to be just a name change. I did have to go in and change my business policies to be able to use, or I guess going forward, eBay said that they're giving sellers 30 days to get their items switched over. So Joan, if you're going to be moving your items over to eBay, you're going to be starting like perfect. You're not going to have to change anything over. All of your listings as you bring them in. If they're a smaller item, you're going to be using Ground Advantage. You're not going to have to go through the hassle of changing it. So I did record a video yesterday. You'll find that here on YouTube, where I went into my business policies and had to change over my first class over to that new Ground Advantage. And it ended up being a little bit of a headache. because I had active offers and I wasn't able to change those. It won't allow you to edit a listing if you have an active offer on an item. So it is a little bit of a headache of having to go back a couple days from now after I don't send any offers to go back in and change those few listings over that I did have active offers on. So that is one thing. But for somebody who's like Joan, if you're just moving over to eBay, now's a really good time because you're going to get in on the new shipping method and hopefully not have to change anything like that anytime soon. But I was able to change all of my listings at once. For anybody wondering, you can follow along step by step in that video with me as I do it. I'm inside of my account. I'm inside of my business policies. If you're also an eBay seller and you're going, okay, how do I do this? That's a video that you're going to want to go watch so that you can follow along and make sure that you get those listings changed over, because eBay has come out and said you do need to have those changed over within 30 days. But they haven't exactly said what's going to happen if you don't. But I would imagine that if you don't have them changed over within 30 days, and that's 30 days from July 9th, so we're already there's 20 days left. I'm guessing that those listings will no longer be active. That is my guess. I have not heard anything like this is what's happening, so I'm not going to say that. But that would be my guess. All right, so I've got a few more minutes. I see a few of you out there. If you want to go ahead and pop your questions in the comments, maybe you're wondering, okay, how do I get started? How do I, maybe be more efficient? How do I fit this in with my life? I know a lot of people are strapped for time, myself included. And you might be wondering, can I really make money with this? Can I really do it in a minimal amount of time? So any questions related to that, related to shipping, related to what to sell, related to where to sell, I'm here for you. So go ahead and type those in the comments. And let me see, I believe I have one more question that was listed ahead of time, or that was asked of me ahead of time. So I want to make sure to get to that. Let me check that real quick. All right. So I had somebody ask, what is the one, if you had to pick one thing that made somebody successful versus somebody who is not successful with reselling, what would be that one difference? And so I thought about that, and what would have happened if Oppenheimer failed to develop the bombs that dropped over Hiroshima and Nagasaki? That is a very good question. And that is one of those that I mentioned that I probably would not be able to give you an answer. So I'm going to say consult Wikipedia. Good question, though. Yes. So the one thing that makes somebody successful versus not successful with reselling, I believe, comes down to consistency. Consistency in showing up for yourself, consistency in listing, being excited as you are on day one of starting your journey, as you are on day 365, a year in, 2 years in, 3 years in, finding that joy in loving what you do and showing up for yourself, having fun with it, and is really the one thing that sets somebody apart who has success with reselling versus doesn't have success with reselling. It is really that consistency, being consistent, being intentional with doing the things that make you money. And with reselling, the thing that makes you money is new listings. Creating new listings, getting new items up out there, and being consistent with those new listings is the one thing that really, really impacts your income. It impacts how your business is able to serve you, how that business is able to bring in money for you and your family. And so that's a really good place that I want to end this Ask Me Anything. Of course, if you got any more questions, last minute, get those in there. But I do want to give a little shout out for my listing challenge that's coming up next week. If you have not yet joined in that, this is going to be a time where you can be intentional, you can be consistent, you can have accountability to show up for your just to show up for yourself, to show up for your business. I'm going to be live each of those days within that challenge, there to help you along the way. Whether you're a brand new seller and you're going, okay, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know like how to price things. I don't know where to find things. Or whether you're a veteran seller and you're looking for that accountability and for that encouragement, that motivation. Maybe that's kind of waned through the years. Wherever you are on your journey, I will be there for you each of those days, live inside of the challenge group. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be resources to help you achieve your goals. I'm getting super excited. We're less than a week out. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the link for that listing challenge with this video, and you should be able to get signed up from there. You're not going to want to miss out. It is going to be an intimate group, a small group, a chance to get your questions answered, to get the feedback that you need, to get the motivation that you need. And I'm the most exciting part about this for me is going back through the testimonials that I have had from these listing challenges over the past few years and seeing the results that the things that people have accomplished in just a matter of, 5 days, like how much money they were able to make, how many items they were able to get listed. I've had even veteran sellers come and say, I've never made this many sales in a week before. And it was just during that listing challenge where they said, hey, I made $200 just by, Friday. They started the listing challenge Monday. By Friday, they had made $200 or $400, whatever that number is. It's so exciting for me to be able to see what can be accomplished even in that short amount of time. And if you're out there and you're saying, hey, I don't have time for that, like I'm really strapped for time, how much time is this going to take? It really, it's up to you, but it does not have to take all day. The majority of the people who are doing listing challenges work full time, they have families, they have all those other outside commitments. And so it is a very minimal part of your day. There's not going to be, I'm not going to be there saying, hey, you have to put in 2 hours or whatever that number is. That's not what it's about. And so to give you an idea for myself, to make $2,000 a month, I run right around 10 hours a week. And it is going to vary, but the more that you do, the more that you list, the more that you get comfortable with the platforms that you're selling on, the more you get comfortable with creating listings, with taking pictures, with all of those pieces that go into reselling, the quicker you're going to get, the quicker you're going to be able to get the listings out there, the more listings you're going to be able to create in a less amount of time. Hopefully that makes sense. And so if you join me for the listing challenge, this is really going to help you get over that hump, get over, maybe some of those obstacles, some of those fears that are holding you back, and help you streamline your process of getting listings out there, getting them out there quickly. So I hope you are able to join me for that. Again, I'm going to leave the link below the video. I'm so excited for next week, and I can't wait to see what everybody is able to accomplish inside that challenge. Again, if there's any more questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'm going to stick around for just a few more seconds longer. I hope you all have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you so much, Joan, for showing up, and for the rest of you out there for showing up and for taking time out of your day to come. That really means a lot to me, and I hope to see you soon. All right. Thank you. Bye.